And welcome back to the show. It's been 2.5 years since we last spoke with UFC President Dana White, and in that time, he's led the Ultimate Fighting Championship to new heights of popularity and profitability. UFC 129 on April 30th at the Rogers Center was the first time that the company held an event in a stadium-sized venue, and it turned out to be an unprecedented sellout, the largest mixed martial arts event in North American history. With this new level of success and the UFC's takeover of Strikeforce, one of the last remaining popular rival brands, we felt it was time to revisit the man that is leading the MMA movement in America and around the globe. Michael Ozanian traveled to Ontario, Canada for this month's Sports Money Profile.
Why did you guys buy Strikeforce?
Well, Strikeforce was for sale. You know, the funny thing about the reputation that we have is that we're anti-competition, which couldn't be further from the truth. But the reality is we continue to expand and grow. We do need more fighters, and we love the content. We need more. The one thing that these guys have that do it right, and the ones that we usually end up buying, is they have a great library, they have a stable of fighters, and if they have a name in a television deal like Strikeforce did, not a bad thing either.
Well, a lot of times, you know, UFC has become synonymous with MMA. So that would seem to, make me believe that there's a challenge in taking these other companies with these other brands and merging them into UFC because of the brand strength of UFC.
Right.
What is the trick to doing that successfully?
No, it's true. But the thing with Strikeforce is when we acquired them, they have a deal with Showtime. We're working with Showtime now, which I've had a very rocky relationship with, but Lorenzo is working with them right now. And we're going to try to run this thing separately, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we can pull it off and we can make it happen. If it didn't happen, the worst case scenario that happens if we own Strikeforce is these guys roll over into the UFC.
Are you worried at all about increasing the number of fighters at a fast enough pace?
Yeah, well, that's our thing. The great thing about this sport is mixed martial arts is the new martial art. When you and I were growing up, parents would put you in karate or taekwondo, stuff like that. Kids are taking mixed martial arts. This is what women, children, businessmen, guys who want to fight, this is what they train in. And not just here, but all over the world. I'm in a position right now where I can get a fighter from anywhere in the world right now. And I think as this thing continues to grow and progress, guys that would have played baseball, basketball, football, guys who are real athletes, you're going to see a lot of them now becoming mixed martial artists.
What are your plans for the women in Strikeforce?
Yeah, well, there's this big misconception out there about me that I don't like women's fighting and everything else. I have no problem with women's fighting. The problem right now, it was a problem with boxing, and it's the problem with MMA right now, is you don't have enough women that are good enough to create an entire division. So what you get is a couple of women that are really good and a lot of women that really aren't. And I don't like lopsided fights, especially with women. So as the sport continues to grow, if there are more and more women where you can actually create an entire division with a lot of talented women, I'm all about it.
I know you've had investors interested in getting a piece of you for several years. That's why I was a little surprised about a year and a half ago you sold 10% to Flash Entertainment. Why did you do that?
Everybody was coming at us and wanted to either buy or buy into it. And we didn't need the money. There was no added value in bringing any of these guys on board. Why? It didn't make sense. But when we hooked up with Flash Entertainment from Abu Dhabi, these guys are the largest investment firm in the world. These guys, not only do they have the capital, but these guys have relationships. This was more of a strategic move for us. These guys were good business partners to get in, especially as we continue to expand. Can we fly over there and set up meetings in China? I don't know, maybe we could do it. With these guys, we can. Even in the UK, in India. These guys were good strategic global partners. And it was actually the best move we ever made. It's been fantastic, so.
Now, a few years ago, you turned down, I think it was $1.2 billion for your company. So obviously, if you're looking at multiples of cash flow, it's got to be approaching $1.7 billion. So you probably think I'm too low. But a lot of companies going public now. Would you consider taking part of your company public?
I don't know. I never want to say no, but I don't think so. This isn't that kind of a business. I've never been involved in a public company before, but my partners have. And, it doesn't seem too fun to me. I like where we're at now. We make all the decisions. Obviously, our partners over in Abu Dhabi own a 10% stake, so they're always in on the loop in what we do. But I like the way we run things now, and I don't think we'd ever go public.
Dana, give me a range of what you think revenues for UFC could be worldwide 3 years from now.
God, that's a good question. I honestly, I think, and people that are watching this, and yourself included listening to me, you think that I'm biased and that I'm this guy that, 10 years ago, people told me when I would say, we're going to be bigger than boxing. People used to say I was nuts. How are you going to be bigger than boxing? Boxing's been around for 100 years, this, that, and everything else. Well, we're bigger than boxing and wrestling combined now. And with this growth and the growth globally that we've experienced, and so many more people, becoming fans of mixed martial arts, and I don't know, it's the potential is so big, it's mind-boggling. This business it transcends all cultural barriers, all language barriers, because I don't care what color you are, what language you speak, or what country you come from. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and fighting's in our DNA, man. We get it, and we like it.